Hello all, in this video we will see how to use an Arduino cloud to capture the sensor data and then represent it on a dashboard in the Arduino cloud. Okay, so when you are using Arduino cloud, the biggest advantage of this particular cloud is you need not even have any other application or anything except your board plugged in and Arduino cloud open. Okay, these are the only two things you need. Okay, now if you see, this is how the interface of Arduino cloud looks like. Okay, and you see here, it shows the recent activity that has happened in the cloud. Like you can see, the devices are listed as zero online. That means any device that is connected to this cloud will get represented here. You can have as many devices as possible. Like for example, we are now trying to connect the Arduino R4 board we have, and this Arduino R4 board has a DHT11 sensor, which actually pushes the temperature and humidity data to the cloud. Okay, so we just plugged in. Let us actually wait for some time, and you can see once the board connects to the cloud. Actually, here it appears as one online. Okay, so let us check. Let us wait for some time. It might be trying to connect to the Arduino cloud. Okay, and while it connects, we will look into the next part here, which is things. Things are nothing but the parameters that particular board transmits to this cloud. Okay, when we click here, you can see it opens up the things section, and also it highlights the things on the left. And when we click here, okay, you can see that it opens a variable window. Okay, so as we said, we connected DHT11 sensor, and this particular DHT11 sensor has humidity and temperature, right? So there are two variables declared here. So how to declare this variable, how to add this variable, we have described in one of the document we created, which will be available very soon to all our visitors of Way to Know. Okay, but it's not so difficult. If you want to add a variable, click on add. You actually name the variable you want. So here the variable here on the left, if you see, is named as humidity. Okay, and then you select the variable type, whether it is integer, boolean, floating, or a character. And then whether you want to read and write to that variable or read only. For our purposes, as we are actually sending the data from the DST11 sensor, we will select read only. And then you can actually do two things: whether you want to update this variable in this cloud periodically, or when there is a change. Like for example, if the temperature is some 25 degrees or something right now, and if there is a change or some threshold that is set, and if it crosses, then only it will update. Or you want periodically to be changed at a given interval. For now, default it is 10 seconds. Like you can make it 5 seconds or whatever. That means every 5 seconds, the variable gets updated. And once all parameters are entered, click add variable, and they come here. Okay. And then on the right side, okay, you have an option to associate your device. Okay. Before going to the device, you have to create a device. Okay, and you see here now one online appeared. Okay, so that means one device is sending data. Okay, now coming back to the topic which we are discussing, so we talked about the things. And these things are associated with a device. Device is nothing but your Arduino R4 board or whatever board. Okay, when you click here, you can see here the device name we have mentioned as way to know, and the board type is Arduino R4 Wi-Fi, and you can see the associated thing is DHT11 data. That means the variables humidity and temperature are associated with this particular device. And when we go to this way to know, it actually shows all the data associated. Okay, and you see on the left here, it says way to know is sending data, and you can see a dot running around. That means every 1 second there is a data that is flowing. Okay, now that is on the device side. Now device is nothing but the board, thing is nothing but the data that we are transmitting from this board to the cloud, and there is a third part which is called dashboard. Okay, so you see all the things here. Okay, and then when you click on the dashboard, you see dashboard sections opens up. Now as we have only one, we as we go on creating and adding number of boards and variables, there could be multiple dashboards, multiple boards running and sending data to the cloud. And when we click on this, okay, we created a widget here for temperature and humidity. So how do you create here is you can click on edit here and add, and you can add whatever you want. For example, if you want to add a slider, okay, slider, and you can name this slider as humidity or whatever you want, and you can link the variable. Okay, we have two variables, right, humidity and temperature. We can actually link the variable. Okay, and it gets linked, and show thing name on the widget if you want. Okay, and click done. You see here this got highlighted. Okay, and if you want you can click on it and delete. Yes, delete. This is how you display the temperature and humidity by adding a widget in the dashboard. Okay, dashboard is what shows you the data that is transmitted from the Arduino to the Arduino cloud. Now, remember that we are not talking about any HTTP or MQTT protocol, but actually in the background, this entire communication happens based on the MQTT protocol. Okay, MQTT protocol we know works on publish and subscribe. Okay, publish is actually done by this Arduino board where temperature and humidity is transferred, whereas to those two topics, the temperature and humidity, the cloud has subscribed and it is receiving the data. So this entire subscribe and publish model is happening in the background, but to us we only see Arduino cloud and the Arduino ID. This is the beauty of creating the POCs very quickly. Okay, so that is on the devices part, that is on the things part, that is on the dashboard part. Now coming to the main point. Okay, now after creating a thing, associating that thing to a device, and publishing the things on a dashboard using widgets, we have one more important section which is called sketches. Okay, sketches are nothing but the codes which are generated in the background in Arduino IDE, Arduino Cloud, when you add these things and things and devices. Now, when we go to that section, okay, you have two. This basically is like your Arduino IDE section, you can say, where you have three tabs here. One is your sketch, which you upload to your Arduino IDE, and then this thing properties.h, which is required for this for the parameters to update to your cloud. Okay, so this sketch, whatever the Arduino code is similar code which we have used for reading the sensor and then transmitting. Okay, so if you leave everything, and this is the actual functions or the methods that are required. You have init properties of which will be described in the which will have its definition in the init properties, and you have to begin the activity by calling Arduino Cloud dot begin off. Okay, and once it is connected, we have to update every time. Okay, so the update happens by Arduino Cloud dot update of function. Okay, in below we are actually trying to send data every 1 second, so you can make it very simple by not doing millis and just putting the delay. That is also fine. Okay, and Arduino Cloud.update actually updates the cloud with the data. So this code is generated in the Arduino cloud itself. You, and then as you do with the Arduino IDE, you can actually directly upload by compiling it, and whatever the serial prompt and all that we see here. When we click here, okay, you can see the temperature and humidity, as we have mentioned, the data coming here, and we will try to edit, change it a little by blowing on the sensor. You can see the values have changed, and similarly when you go back and see on the dashboard, okay, you can actually see the sensor value around 30 and 53. Now let us try to blow on the sensor. Okay, and you can see that it changes here. Okay, so this is how the edit happens in the Arduino cloud from the sensor. Okay, so the configuration and all, we have talked a bit with the Windows snapshots in a document which we are doing for Arduino R5, which will be available very soon. But this is a glimpse of Arduino Cloud, and how you can display the data on dashboard. Thank you.